About 20 years ago, Seryoga, Diman, and I met at the Burevestnik camp near Tumenogorsk, and we became friends right away. We were 12, and at that age you have a lot of the same interests. We read the same books, watched the same movies, quoted lines from The Matrix, and acted out scenes from, say, Mortal Kombat. Usually the three of us just preferred to stick together. I was an average height, broad-shouldered kid with a buzz cut. Diman was loud and dark-haired, with a slight hoarseness in his voice and a charming gap-toothed smile. And Seryoga, he was a skinny red-haired kid who always wore a black hoodie and carried a soccer ball under his arm. That ball could be called the fourth friend in our group. Seryoga didn't like to leave it unattended, so he dragged it everywhere with him. One evening, we had a gathering around the campfire. The counselors were singing songs. We were trying to sing along. Then we started telling jokes, all sorts of funny stories. And eventually, of course, it came to scary stories. The Queen of Spades, the Swearing Gnome, all that stuff. The older counselors had long outgrown it and went to their cabin. Only the youngest one, Greg, that's what he asked us to call him, stayed behind. We continued to scare each other, and someone, I think it was Aliska, told a story about the Morn. The story went that about 10 years ago, a tragedy happened at this camp. There's a river nearby, and one time, a kid drowned in it. Maybe there was a fight and other kids accidentally drowned him. Or maybe he just couldn't swim and the counselors weren't watching. Or maybe an underwater spirit dragged him down, Diman chimed in. The storyteller continued. The boy never showed up back at camp. A search began, and only a few days later, his body was found downstream. The camp was closed for a couple of years, then a new owner bought it, renovated it, changed the name, and reopened it. At first, going to the river was forbidden. But what's a camp without a river? So they allowed it. They say that on a clear moonlit night, you can meet this very Morn at the river. He doesn't say anything. He just calls you to come for a swim. And whoever swims with him disappears forever. They don't even find a body. My older brother saw him, Aliska said, the summer before last. He barely got away. The thing was sitting on the pier and waving its hand, calling him to swim with it. And why Morn? I asked. She looked at me menacingly. They say if you touch him, your skin gets all wrinkled, and then... You're such an idiot, Aliska, Diman interrupted. He's called the Morn because he's a drowned man. If you swim for a long time, your fingers get wrinkled. He's all wrinkled. Have you seen him? No, but my brother saw him, and he wasn't wrinkled at all. He looked like a normal boy, just all blue. Greg, Diman said, turning to the counselor, have you seen the Morn? Greg seemed to flinch. All eyes were on him. No, I haven't seen him. Is it true, Diman pressed, that you have to draw circles on the water with a flashlight to summon him? I told you I haven't seen him. Greg looked at us, and he knew we wouldn't let it go. He sighed. Okay, fine. I think I saw him. We all leaned in as he lowered his voice. One time we were camping not far from that place. At night, we were, let's just say, pretty relaxed, so you could imagine anything. I didn't see anything specific, but maybe it seemed like someone was swimming by. My buddy, though, he swears it's something. Not quite a boy, not quite an old man, was standing waist-deep in the water. The body was scrawny, skin all wrinkly, just a disgusting sight. And it was supposedly calling to him, but its mouth wasn't moving. The voice was just in his head. I haven't met any other witnesses, only rumors.
He paused, then clapped his hands. All right, pack it up. Time for bed. At breakfast, Diman was trying to convince us to go to the river that night. I honestly wasn't thrilled. I was kind of a wimp, and I wasn't a fan of adventures like this, but I wouldn't admit it out loud. Seryoga was picking at his oatmeal, nervously rolling his ball under the table with his foot. I'm a little creeped out, he said suddenly. Not that I believe in this Morn thing, but who knows what you could run into in the woods at night? Diman just smiled. We're more scared of what we make up in our own heads. The woods here are nothing, and of course, we're not going to go swimming. We're not idiots. I liked that I wasn't the biggest coward in the group, so I grinned. Seryoga, come on. We'll be right there and back. 30 minutes, tops. The counselors won't notice a thing. He was hesitant all day, but that evening, during soccer, he cheered up. The sun began to set. It was getting dark. Everyone else went to their cabins. As always, it was just the three of us. And the ball, of course. We were trying to kick it into the basketball hoop over and over, and failing. Then an idea came to me. A way out. I've got a deal, I announced. If I make this shot now, we go to the river. If not, we forget the whole thing. Seryoga eagerly nodded. No problem. But Diman started to object. What, are you backing out? You're just going to miss on purpose? Watch, I said. My eyes locked on Seryoga. The ball went up, hit the top of the backboard, and fell right into the net. Seryoga froze. Diman grabbed his head. Damn it! And even though I was smiling victoriously, inside I felt sick. A deal's a deal. I woke up abruptly from the strange sensation on my heel. Someone was tickling me. Hey, what are you doing? I yelled, but Diman immediately shushed me. He slipped out the cabin door and disappeared. Crap. I dozed off. It was quiet. The rain had stopped. It was time. I sat up, lacing my shoes, and heard a light scratching on the window glass. It sent a shiver down my spine. I looked up. It was just Diman, peering in. I nodded and found Seryoga's eyes across the dark room. For a moment, our gazes met. I didn't say it was a stupid idea. He didn't either. He just pulled up his hood. We moved silently toward the exit. Where are you guys going? It was Toha, the kid whose bed was by the door. Toha, we're like hobbits, I whispered. There and back again. Just a quick walk. He followed us outside. Guys, what if the counselors see? If you keep your mouth shut, I said, no one will see anything. Now we're going. As soon as he was out of sight, we bolted for the fence. My sneakers got soaked instantly as I stepped right into a huge puddle. Careful, Seryoga whispered behind me. A little way from camp, we finally turned on our flashlights. Bizarre shadows danced around us. Ominous black tree branches clawed at the sky. My heart started beating faster. We found the path and walked, my sneakers making funny squelching sounds in the mud. To break the tension, we started laughing, our voices sounding unnaturally loud and sharp in the dead quiet. We took a break at the pier, sitting on the edge of the creaky, sticky boards. We crunched loudly on apples and chips, as if the sound could scare away whatever evil was lurking in the forest shadows. Diman grabbed his flashlight and began to draw shapes on the water's surface. Circles, spirals, figure eights. We watched, silent and tense. What if he really appears? The air was unnaturally still, no wind. The river made no sound. "It's suspiciously quiet," Diman said, his voice tight. "It's like someone is hiding and watching us. I feel like right now I can feel eyes on me." I tried to force a laugh. "Well," I said, standing up, "looks like he's got the day off." "Hold on," Diman insisted, sweeping his light across the opposite bank. "He could appear anywhere." "Are we going to wait all night?" I snapped, my nerve failing. "This is getting creepy. Why are you whining like a girl? Did we come here for nothing?" "Okay, guys," Seryoga cut in. "Let's set a timer for 5 minutes. If we don't see anything, we go back." "Fine," I grumbled. And then I heard it. A barely audible, almost imperceptible whisper creeping into my ears. Splash! A sound nearby, as if something, or someone, fell into the water. The man pointed his flashlight to the right. "Seryoga, did you bring your ball?" "Yeah, it's in my pack." Seryoga stared at his backpack. It was unzipped. In the circle of the flashlight beam, the soccer ball was bobbing gently near the pier. "That's weird," I said, standing. "The way it's floating." It was unnaturally still. "Is that definitely yours?" "Yeah, it's mine, of course. How did it—" Seryoga's face was pale in the moonlight. "Was I the only one who heard it splash?" the man asked. We all had. "We have to get it," Seryoga pleaded. "My parents will kill me." "Why is it just sitting there?" I asked. "It's just bobbing, like a float." Then, as if caught by a weak current, the ball began to move, slowly, toward the pier. The man went to the very edge. "I can't reach it." "Seryoga, you're the tallest. Lie down, we'll hold you." There was no time to think. Seryoga instantly lay down, crawling to the edge, stretching out his arms. I sat as a counterweight, grabbing one leg. Diman grabbed the other. "Got it?" I asked. "Almost." A sharp jerk, a muffled cry. "Seryoga!" We almost lost him. Some incredible force was pulling him, dragging him off the pier. His head went underwater. Diman jumped to a pier post, grabbing it with one hand and Seryoga's sweatshirt with the other, kicking desperately at the water. He screamed, "Help! Something's holding him!" I just stared, frozen. My heart was a drum against my ribs. Seryoga's head was struggling under the water. It felt like an eternity. Do something. Damn it, just do something! In total desperation, I lunged forward, grabbing Seryoga by his shoulders, his neck, his hair, pulling with everything I had. With a final heave, I dragged him back onto the boards. He was coughing, gasping, clawing his way from the edge. As I did, Diman, who had jumped to help, lost his balance and fell into the water with a loud splash. He surfaced a few feet away. "Diman!" I yelled, reaching out my hand. His eyes were wide with a terror I had never seen. He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. And then I saw them, pale, slimy, hands wrapped around his legs. For a single horrifying moment, a human-like creature breached the surface. The Morn. The name escaped my lips in a choked whisper.
It was a hideous thing, like a teenager who had aged 100 years, its skin hanging in grotesque folds. It fixed its insane, empty eyes on me, its mouth a gaping, rotten hole twisted into a sickening smile. I was paralyzed, staring at the spot where Diman had been a second ago. Now, there was only a faint ripple on the water, and the jagged reflection of the moon. My eyes were glued to the pattern on the linoleum floor of the counselor's cabin. I was silent. I heard Seryoga trying to explain, his voice frantic. He led some counselors to the pier. I just sat there for what felt like an eternity, thinking about one detail. One single detail I had missed. The ball, floating in the water. It was approaching the pier slowly, unhurriedly, and most importantly, against the current. How could I not have noticed? That thing, it was just playing with us.